My lord, he has come. The servant of the corpse emperor is here. The so-called golem. And he has brought new weapons and allies. Never in all my days have we seen the Temerine tribes united, let alone ally with the likes of the Ashkenazi. And now they have sailed to Gordium, sailed against our reavers. They slew the garrison, and they are at our very gates.
Is the ritual ready?
Yes, lord, but...
Then we will proceed.
But my lord...
Nicodemus, the slaves of the Imperium are of no concern to me. I had wished for the ritual to take place a fortnight from now. The stars would have been in a more favorable position. But with the invasion, it must be now. But it matters not. When the seeds of the Dark Prince are planted in the heart of this planet, what happens to any of you, Gordians, Tamarines, Ashkenazi, it will not matter. Your petty squabbles will not matter. For this planet is about to become the domain of Slanesh. Count yourself lucky, Nicodemus. You may yet see the glories and wonders and mysteries of our dark mistress.
With the heretic defenders driven from the high walls of the Dark Citadel, it wasn't long before the allied forces of the Temerine and the Ashkenazi were fighting in the courtyard. The cruel black arrows rained down from above, not caring if they hit friend or foe. Within moments of being struck, the bodies of the victims would shrivel and blacken. Abaya climbed the walls near the gate and managed to find a position amongst the crenelling of the battlements, where he could fire freely into the enemy backline. He fired a few shots into the courtyard before black arrows began raining down around him, forcing him to take cover. Captain Fanuel was once again cleaving his way through the enemy and leading the charge as the Temerine hacked their way through the heretic foot soldiers. Abaya could now see more of the pale, twisted elite soldiers with their long arms and their cruel blades pushing their way towards the Space Marine. They were fast enough, and their blades were imbued with some kind of heretical power that they simply did not shatter under the might of the golem's chainsword. If they were to engage the captain and surround him, they might be able to slowly pick him apart, darting in to bite at his flanks when his back was turned. Abaya focused his fire on these twisted abominations, darting out of cover to shoot whenever the arrows abated. Abaya could rarely get off a clean shot. Too many of the long-limbed creatures were too closely engaged with their allies for him to fire safely. Abaya watched as they moved like water through the melee, dodging sword and spear and bayonet like they were nothing. One managed to seize one of the Temerines and haul him from his horse with inhuman strength and hurled him against one of the walls of the citadel. There was a sickening crunch. The unfortunate man simply fell to the ground in a heap of broken and tangled limbs. The corrupted monstrosities actually began to push back the assault as they fought their way towards the golem. Not wanting to lose momentum, Al-Rashid urged his horsemen forward, trampling over the corpses of the dead in their wake. The dark servants were fast, but Abaya had never seen a more skilled horseman in all his days. Al-Rashid demonstrated on that day why he was the man who united the feuding tribes of the Temerine, why he was the greatest among them. He slew soldiers left and right, and contended with the dark blades of the accursed enemy. His blade moved like quicksilver, avoiding contact with the ruinous weapons, and instead seeking the corrupted flesh of his foes, deftly and precisely hitting each of his targets. With a daring feint and strike, he neatly severed the enemy's head from its shoulders. He fought until he rode right up next to Fanuel, his dashing scimitar glinting in the light. "Ha ha! The Emperor rides with the Temerine, eh, Golem? Ah, be careful, or I shall earn more glory in my name than you will for yours!" Through all the musket fire, and the shouting, and the chaos of battle, a single shot rang out whose roar seemed to drown out all else. Abaya had never heard such a terrible sound. The crack of the muskets were as nothing to the thunderous blast he heard. And he only heard the sound, and then he saw the impact. Al-Rashid, who had been a shining beacon of martial prowess, his chest simply burst apart. To Abaya's eyes, it looked like he had taken a canister of grape shot directly to the chest. The smile didn't even leave the man's face as his lifeless body tumbled from his steed. Another bolt brought down his horse as well. Cries went up from the Temerine as their leader was brought low. The push by the allied forces began to falter. But the golem bellowed over all the noise with fervor and conviction.
Honor your leader with victory. To the final gate. Push them back. For the Emperor.
Without waiting for a response, or for the army to follow him, Captain Fanuel surged forwards, hacking into heretics left and right. A few Temerine dismounted to recover the body of their leader, but the rest sought to equal the valor of their sovereign. Before them, the portcullis and heavy wooden door that barred the entrance to the citadel, it would be as nothing to the golem. But what horrors awaited them inside, Abaya could scarcely imagine. No man do they call me, my mother and my father, and all my comrades as well. Thank you all for listening to the latest episode of the Heart of Iron series. If you enjoyed what you heard, please leave a like and comment so that you too can win glory for the Emperor. If you are not already subscribed, please do so in order to hear more stories about fighting against the lies of chaos. If you would like to support me, links to my Patreon, my PayPal, and my Teespring are down in the description below. And if you have absolutely no idea what's going on, then you can click on the Heart of Iron playlist, which should be appearing on screen right now. Thank you all once again for listening. No Man out.